So some days you can't tell what's up, what's down, and some days you can't even get your words out straight. Or maybe that's just me. Let me know if I'm alone in that, because maybe I am. But I was leaving a message for one of my Mastering Intuition students today. We were having a conversation the other day, and I found that I just couldn't get my words out straight. And we had been talking about that moment where sometimes we just feel disconnected. We feel lost. You might be in your home and all of a sudden the worries and the anxieties kick in, or you're at work and it's one meeting after another. And it feels like you've been on Zoom all day long, just nonstop electronics. And it gets a little bit overwhelming. We can't get our words out straight. We can't figure out what our heart really wants. And maybe we get stuck in a cycle or a circle of thinking. And so, as we were talking about it, one of the things she said, hello, hello. So, when you hop on, PS, if you're watching, because I'm using StreamYard, make sure you give StreamYard permission so that I can see who you are, because it just says Facebook user. So, hello, my friend. Good to see you. Anyway, I love it when you guys join me live. It's so great to have your energy on the call, because that's part of what I'm going to share today. The key piece when you're feeling lost. So we were having this conversation, and my Mastering Intuition student and myself, and she remarked how from the course, one of the things that she loved the most was learning these simple techniques that are so easy. So instead of spending a half an hour or an hour worrying and overanalyzing and overthinking, she just goes outside for 5 minutes and that's it. And it can be as simple as that. Now there's a reason behind why that works. And I love answering the whys. I go into that. And if I don't have the answer, I'll look for it. And if I can't find it, we'll figure it out together, or it's one of the mysteries of life. But I do enjoy diving deeper, like, well, why does it help to go outside? What's happening? So let's break it down a little bit. I want to share a story. And by the way, if we haven't met yet, my name is Irina Miller. I'm an energy alchemist and spiritual life guide. And part of my joy is helping you step into the life that you were born to live, to follow that calling, that inspiration, that passion that may have been stuffed way down because it was like, oh, well, I've got to be, just toe the party line and do what I'm expected to do and not speak up for myself, but to really speak your heart. And that can be hard when we're feeling lost. So I want to begin with the story of Hanuman. Have you heard this story? It's one of my most favorites from my yoga days. And it talks all about little baby Hanuman. And little baby Hanuman one day is taking a nap in the forest. And his mother says to Hanuman's dad, Vayu, the king of the wind, hey, keep an eye on Hanuman. I want to go out and get a delicious treat for my precious little baby boy when he wakes up. I'm going to get his favorite. I'm going to look for a juicy mango and bring it back home to him. And so dad goes, okay, I'll keep an eye on him. But as parents, sometimes we get busy. We're like, okay, little one's sleeping. I'm going to just do some work over here. And in the meantime, Hanuman woke up early from his nap and he looks up in the heavens above, up into like the tree leaves. And as they're sparkling, he sees this big golden ball shining. And he thinks, oh, that looks like such a delicious, juicy mango, my favorite. And so he decides, I'm going to leap up into the heavens and get that juicy mango. So he takes this giant leap. And as he's leaping up and flying up towards this beautiful ball of golden deliciousness, Indra, the god of thunder, sees him and he looks down and he's like, what are you doing, you foolish child? That's the sun. You're going to kill yourself. So Indra throws a lightning bolt. So god of thunder and lightning throws a lightning bolt and knocks Hanuman down, and Hanuman falls and he breaks his jaw. Anyway, Vayu, dad, like, oh my gosh, what is happening? So the god of the wind, he scoops up little baby Hanuman and he runs away with him. He whisks him away to this cave. And he's like, oh no, now I'm going to be in quite a lot of trouble. My little boy, he's hurt, he's harmed. And so there is this feeling of, I need to protect him. I need to nurture him. I need to take care of him. And what ends up happening is when Vayu, the god of the wind, disappears into the cave with this little boy, Hanuman, the wind, the air, the breath from the world disappears and people start to suffer. And so as a result, they start to petition Vayu. They come to the cave. They're like, please, we're dying out here. You have to bring back the wind. You have to bring back the air. Please, please, please. We're so sorry that Hanuman got hurt. Indra was just trying to protect him. We're going to help heal him. We're going to make him all better. Look, and we're going to bring gifts as well. So the gods petition. They said, we're going to give him the strength to leap far leaps, to grow big, to grow small, all these superpowers, to have such incredible strength. Hello, hello. Say hi when you pop on. And so Vayu is like, okay, I'm going to bring my little one back out into the world, and Shiva helps to heal him. And so as the air comes back, the wind, everybody, big sigh of relief. But now you have a little toddler running around with superpowers. Have you ever seen that movie? Is it The Invisibles? Am I remembering that wrong? With little baby Jack Jack? And he has these superpowers and he's like, pew, 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 wreaking havoc. Well, toddlers with superpowers, they're dangerous. Oh, The Incredibles. Thank you. That would have driven me bonkers. I wonder why I was thinking Invisibles. I appreciate that. Thank you. And little baby Jack Jack's out of control. So little Hanuman, toddler with superpowers, created some havoc and upset the wise sages. So they thought, we can't have this. Toddler with superpowers, recipe for disaster, literally. So they made Hanuman forget his superpowers. And as Hanuman grew up to be a beautiful, mature, wonderful God that he was, he didn't realize he had all these superpowers within himself. And it took his beloved friend and the Prince Rama, to remind him, you have these abilities to leap far distances. You have such incredible strength and power. It took friends and community to remind Hanuman to reflect back the strength, the power, the beauty that he had all along deep within him. Because when Hanuman was out of community, he forgot. He would feel lost. He would forget what his strengths were, these incredible gifts. And one of the things that has come to my attention recently, the more I speak with my mastering intuition students, is that very often as empaths and curious seekers, we feel lost. We have these superpowers or gifts to know things or feel things, get goosebumps at certain times, or we take things personally when everybody else is saying, why'd you let that comment hurt you? Let it roll off your shoulder. But we feel it in our heart, sometimes called highly sensitive people. We just feel on a different level. And those are incredible superpowers. But when we don't have the ability to see them fully or know how to use them, like little baby Jack Jack, we can wreak havoc and it can be overwhelming. So what I love to do, and why I created my Mastering Intuition program, and I didn't really expect to talk about that, is because I wanted to give a structure and a system so that when you're feeling lost, you know what to do, that you remember your superpowers, your spidey senses, and you realize that they're really there to help you and support you, so that it enables you to know who to trust, what to trust, when to feel safe, when to take action, because it can be overwhelming. And what ends up happening is when those superpowers are wreaking havoc, so to speak, and we're getting so much data and emotion and it's overwhelming, and people are saying, oh, you're overthinking it. No, you're taking it too personally. It's not about you. But we're like, something's going on. I just know it. I can't explain it. I can't quite put it into words yet, but something's happening. What happens is we feel very lost. We feel misunderstood. And so we just shut it down. And then we're kind of giving our power away often. As I was talking with one of my students, and it's like, okay, there's a harder time saying no. You don't want to create conflict. You're like, okay, I'll just do what the crowd is doing. I don't want to make waves or make anybody uncomfortable. But there comes a point where it's so important to remember who you are, to remember your gifts. And I want to share this little energy recipe with you. The first thing is breathe. Now, why breathe? Because it brings you back into the moment. Deep belly breaths. Those deep belly breaths are going to help you to be more present and to more easily ground. The next thing that I invite you to do is to reflect. Now, that might be if you feel like you're alone on a desert island or a deserted island. Um, See, it's me thinking about food. Desert, or dessert. But if you feel it and find yourself like people just around me aren't empathic, they're not necessarily feeling the same things. Who can I talk to? Where can I hang out where people will get it? Well, hey, hang out over here. I have a whole free Facebook group where you'll find your people for sure. So click on that link around here and come in and play. But in the meantime, reflection. Maybe you look at your reflection in the mirror or in the lake, so to speak, the ocean. Maybe you have a good friend who can reflect back your superpowers and your beauty. I have a teacher who calls that believing eyes. And if you can't find someone with believing eyes, then you become that person for someone else. And by doing that, what happens is you find your strength and you find those intuitive gifts. So reflect, take a moment just to truly see yourself. And once you've taken that deep breath and you've grounded, it becomes much easier to see who you are inside, what your heart is saying. And then the final thing is remember. And why do I say remember? Well, because life gets busy and we have a lot of information and data coming at us throughout the day. And it's easy to, I was joking, but the collective mind or the collective energy. If you've ever been with a group and the group gets excited about something like, oh my gosh, and I was just at a deep dive astrology immersion, wonderful weekend, incredible teacher, and they have this incredible book. The book is like literally 2 feet by 4 feet, probably weighs 40 pounds. Phenomenal. Nowhere else has this knowledge been taken down. He did incredible research, took so many years to put this together. Phenomenal book. And yes, I would like to get it one day. And the class was getting very excited. And so a bunch of people were buying the book. And I felt that excitement too. And I wanted to buy the book right away. But I knew as I was grounding and I was breathing in that moment that now is not the best time for me to buy that book. It'll come. I'll wait for that divine right timing. If it's meant to be, it'll circle back round. But because I was able to ground, because I was in a discerning place, I was able to feel into what was group energy versus me. And what happens is when we're with these big groups, when we're with that collective mind and energy, we can end up forgetting who we are and feeling lost. And I love the beautiful trend of, have you guys seen this? And let me know if you do this with the jeans where they're high waisted and they're short. Well, let's just say my legs probably could not pull that off. And as much as I would love to jump on that trend and jump in the excitement of it, like, oh, this is so cool. I'm fitting in, I'm belonging, I've got the cool jeans. I realize that they may not highlight my superpowers. They may highlight the things that are not so super, like my short legs. So it's just all about taking that moment to celebrate being part of community, to have those friends who reflect back your unique gifts, but to remember who you are as an individual within the group and to celebrate that, to celebrate those differences, because it really takes that diversity and those differences to make a rich, rewarding community. If we all rock those beautiful high waisted short jeans, then it would get quite boring. We wouldn't see maybe the bell bottoms or the skinny jeans or heck, the yoga pants. Oh my gosh, I love a good pair of comfy yoga pants. All right. So let me know if you have questions or comments. I love to be able to bring information to you that helps support you. And if this has been helpful, please do share it with a friend and make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you are notified when the latest Inklings drops. All right. Have an incredible day, my friends, and so much love to you. And I just want to take this moment to reflect back your beauty and your gifts. And I can feel it's your big heart. It's the fact that you care. It's the fact that you show up. You show up to a show like this. You show up for your friends, for your family, and you bring that love and you bring that, the way that I want to say it is that support. That's not judgmental. That's not harsh, but just allows them to know that you show up with limitless, unconditional love. All right, take it easy. Bye, guys.